Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy hump day. Big waves. Yes, yes, yes. Come on now. That'll make you smile. That'll make you smile. So let me know if my service, Anthony or Andrea, if it gets a little choppy. So um we've kind of changed up a little bit. We will definitely go back to words and do words too, but sometimes you want to look at a little something, where it's a phrase or a statement. How do you handle losing? That's the message for today. I thought it was ironic. I'm not going to get political, but that's just not my cup of tea. But here's the thing. We've all got our opinion, right? Every one of us voted yesterday. So we all got our opinion of who you voted for. So I can promise one thing, whether it's today, a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, there's going to be a winner. And there's going to be people on here that won, they felt like they won, and then there's going to be people on here that felt like they lost, right? Well, that's life. That's what we go through in life since we were a kid. How do you handle losing? And so I've heard this phrase over and over and over, this quote. I never lose. I either win or learn. And it's a great statement. It is a great statement, but it's easier said than done.
Amen.
Okay. And I'll tell you, I don't classify myself as a great loser. Okay. And I can't tell you I always feel like I'm learning from the loss. But here's what I can tell you. It's times like today that if you'll dive into it a little bit, I think you grow. I think you will help yourself. And so I think I do handle losing different today at my age, at 45, than I did in my earlier years, in my 20s, in my teens. One of the things I wanted to share with you is dealing with loss is manageable. When we lose something, it brings out all the pain and all the pride issues we have in ourselves. But there's also, like, would you agree? Would you raise your hand with me if you agree with this? That a lot of times when you lose, it's a pride thing. Like, it's just pride. It's like, I'd lose a football game. High school football now, it's not the end of the world. Like, nobody's going to come string me up and pluck my toenails out for losing a game. But I would lose on a Friday night, and then I would go to get me a cup of coffee on Saturday, and it was a pride thing. Like, I was angry. And when those elderly men in the coffee shop, the coffee club, they're the smart ones. It's got it all figured out. They'd say, "Hey, coach, tough game last night." And they probably was being sincere, but I wanted to go over and choke slam them. Right? I'm kidding. Come on now, laugh a little bit. But it was pride. It was pride that made me feel that way. I think I deal with it a little bit different today. Not always great, but I do. I want to give you an example, and I hope this relates to you as I turn it to Coach, because I'm really excited about you hearing from her. When I first started network marketing, okay, not all of you on here are in network marketing. It's okay. Don't run out. I'm not trying to get your credit card. But when I first started network marketing, it hurt when I reached out to somebody and I didn't get the response I thought I should get. How many of you felt that before? Or maybe they didn't even answer the phone, or maybe they stood me up, or maybe they said they were going to be on and then they weren't, or I presented it to them and they ghosted me. It really hit my pride, because I lived a life prior to network marketing that I felt like people came to me to solve their problems. And I was the solver. And then I got in network marketing because I wanted to change financially. Got in network marketing, and it was an ego thing. It was a pride thing that really I didn't handle losing. So here's what I learned. Thank God I stayed persistent. Thank God I had mentors in my life that coached me and stayed with me, because today, what I've learned is the win for me today is not in the yeses and the nos. It's in connecting dots and seeing where the ripple takes me. See where the ripple takes us. And what that does is it allows me to not think of it like winning or losing, but rather think of it as I'm stringing victories together of just connecting the dots with people and seeing where it leads me. That's the win. That's the win. And it really changed me in network marketing from going from a $2,000 or $3,000 a month earner to, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 on up. I'm not bragging about that. I'm just telling you what the change was. The change was how I handled the losses. The losses become more about, hey, I'm going to connect the dots and realize that when I connect, that's the win. I'm going to string little wins together. We all like to win. And it was the way that I perceived the game at that point. So I challenge you, how do you handle losing? And look at losing and go, you know what? What can I change my mindset to where I can string little wins together? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, I'm going to turn it to you. I hope I didn't confuse everybody, but in my crazy world, that's what I thought about when I thought about how I handled losing today versus my past.
No, that's outstanding, Coach. Thank you as always for sharing. And I'm really excited today to share with you because there's some young ones on here that knew me when they were really young. And then there's some older ones on here that I've grown to really love and respect. And so I'm going to give you kind of a balance. Coach kind of hit on it a little bit. When I was working on this, I just drew a line right in the middle of my paper. And on the left side of it, I put younger. And on the right side, I put older. So, how do we deal with, how do we handle losing? And from my perspective, we're probably all going to be very relatable in what I say. I think we can all probably connect in it. But in my younger side, Jesse Powell is on here. He's in another business and doing great. I'm so proud of Jesse. Y'all heard me speak of him, but he's Bubba to me. He was Bubba. He was my right arm at Brooks High School, and he was sixth, seventh grade, and Bubba was with me, and I just thought he was mine. And so he saw me when we lost. It didn't matter what sport we were in, and I might throw a doggone fit. I mean, just kind of, you've heard Coach Palmer talk about getting mad, and it was almost point I might clean me off a spot out there and just have a good old fit out in the middle of the field or on the court. And I'm just kidding. I never got that extreme, but it's, I would show too much outward emotion. It was just too much. And when we were young and get out of college, I thought I knew everything. And I realized quickly, I didn't know anything, but my emotions when we lost was just over the top, and then I would over analyze everything. Poor old Bubba might be riding up in the front seat with me in a van, and I might be talking to him, expecting him to understand everything I'm saying. Did we do this? And bless his heart, he probably had no clue what I was talking about. But guess what he did? He just shake his head and agree with me, because they probably thought I was fixing to unlash again because I was angry. But, you overanalyzed everything. I really did that when I was young. And I always look for excuses sometimes. I've been guilty of that in the younger days, not as much now. But I look for excuses, and that's why I use that term. For every time I point a finger at somebody, there's three pointing back right at me, because that is so valuable. It helps me stay grounded. And I didn't want to hear any advice. Like Coach was saying, he'd go to I call it the Liars Club, Brent. My dad goes down there to Stags every morning with all his buddies, and they sit around the table and all they do is tell lies, is what I tell them. But, you walk in, I didn't want anybody to tell me anything, even if they were right. It was just that young version. But as I've got older, you know, I kind of have initially will take everything in stride. No, we don't like to hear no. We don't like to be rejected. But now I've learned that take it in stride. It's like Pat Summit always said, right foot, left foot, breathe. It's just go on. You move on, and I immediately, as I've gotten older, I've learned to look at what I could have done differently. What could I do as a leader of myself, as a leader of my team, as a leader of my family? What could I have done differently? I shoulder that responsibility when there's a loss. And then I call and I talk to people that I trust and that I value will be honest with me. I can take somebody telling me hard truth. And I think everybody on this call can too, because I know the people that I turn to, they love and care about me. So as I've gotten older, I've handled losing differently than I did younger. You know, we have to stay away from negative influence and just get back to work. The best way to handle a loss is, like Coach said, look at it as a lesson, a very valuable lesson if we look at it with the right perspective. If we lose and we know or feel something was a little screwy, you know what I'm talking about? You in your heart realize you just kind of got ripped off. We see that a lot in sports right now, but you just really in your heart feel like that. You still can't allow that when you lose to control you. This is when we go into the regret mode. You start thinking too much. You can't do that. Our mind is a powerful thing. And when we lose, we must have the right mindset to move forward. You never want to waller in that self pity or negativity. So just be willing to accept the loss, learn to handle it, and move forward. And it is truly a lesson. So there you have it, gang. If we're going to lose today, let's lose with class. Let's lose with dignity, and let's learn a lesson.
Coach, I love it. I love it. I love it. I saw your notes and I'm like, I got to get through mine so we can listen to you. So many great nuggets there, what you gave, and we're going to go through it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen this week for us at some point, and how are we going to handle it? So hope this helped. Hope this added value to you. I hope you have a great Wednesday. Can't wait to see you back tomorrow, Thursday. Okay. Love you guys. Grateful for you.
Everybody have a great day.
Beautiful
Andrea,
people.
have a beach.